The Primeval Guardian is an awesome modded subclass for the Ranger that's basically all about growing your size and being an absolute fortress. So let's go over it. We're going level by level with the combat tutorial and all the items you could ever need. So of course we start with the Ranger, and for this we gain True Strike and Find Familiar. We'll also gain Strength Saving Throw proficiencies, Dexterity Saving Throw proficiencies, Simple Weapon, Martial Weapon, Light, Medium and Shield proficiencies. For a favoured enemy here, I would personally take the Bounty Hunter. We gain proficiency in Investigation, and creatures we hit with an Ensnaring Strike will have disadvantage on their saving throw. For a Natural Explorer, I would take the Wasteland Wanderer Poison, so we gain resistance to poison damage. You could take any of these three in any order. We'll be taking all three for this build, so pick and choose what order you want really. For your ability points, we'll be using 8 Strength, 16 Dexterity, 14 Constitution, 10 Intelligence, 16 Wisdom and 10 Charisma. We will be using Strength Potions for this build, so make sure you have those stocked up, or you can craft them, whatever you need. For efficiencies, take whatever fits your roleplay. Ranger level 2 brings first level spell slots. Now for these we will be taking the Ensnaring Strike and we'll be taking Hunter's Mark. For a fighting style we will be taking Archery for a +2 bonus to our ranged weapon attacks. Ranger level 3 brings our specialization. We also gain another spell, so we will be taking the Hail of Thorns. And then for your subclass we want to come all the way over for the Primeval Guardian. Rangers of the Primeval Guardian Conclave follow an ancient tradition rooted in powerful druidic magic. These rangers learn to become one with nature, allowing them to channel the aspects of various beasts and plants in order to overcome their foes. So this will gain Piercing Thorns. Once during each of your turns, you can deal an additional 1-6 piercing damage to a creature you hit with a weapon attack. We gain Guardian Form, so reduce your movement speed to 1.5 meters while increasing your size to large. You gain an additional 1.5 meters reach and gain 1 temporary hit point at the start of each of your turns. Your Guardian Form lasts until you choose to end it or become incapacitated as a bonus action. You also gain Entangle as a spell. Ranger level 4 brings our first feat. Now for this we will be taking the ability improvement and bumping our dexterity up to 18. Ranger level 5 brings second level spell slots. We also gain an extra attack and enhance ability. For a spell here we will be taking Cure Wounds, so we've got a healing capability. Ranger level 6 brings our next set of passives. So for this we will be taking Keeper of the Veil to gain proficiency in Arcana and protection from good and evil. And for your Natural Explorer, take either Cold or Poison or Fire, depending on which you chose the first time. As I said, we are taking all three of these. Ranger level 7 brings Ancient Fortitude. When you assume your Guardian form, your maximum and current HP is increased by 14 hit points. We gain one more spell. For this one I would personally take Pass Without a Trace, an awesome ability to have outside of combat. Ranger level 8 brings Landstride Difficult Terrain, so now difficult terrain will no longer slow us down, and we gain our second feat. And for this, you probably guessed it, but we are maximising our dexterity out at 20. Ranger level 9 brings Venomous Barbs. Imbue a friendly animal's melee attacks with an additional 1 to 4 piercing damage that can poison enemies for 1 to 4 poison damage. This lasts until long rest, but the creature must have an intelligence of 3 or less. We also gain level 3 spell slots, and for this we're taking Lightning Arrow, one of the best level 3 ranger spells you can get, 6 to 48 damage, and the bolts will snake out to other targets nearby. Ranger level 10 brings Hide in Plain Sight, so we can camouflage ourselves with our environment to become invisible. We're getting a +10 bonus to stealth checks as long as we stand still. Our favoured enemy is next, and for this one I would take the Sanctified Stalker, proficiency in Religion, and we can cast Sacred Flame. And if you're Natural Explorer, take the final Wasteland Wanderer you need. Ranger level 11 brings Rooted Defense. So while in your Guardian form, the ground within 9 meters of you is difficult terrain for your enemies. We gain one more spell. For this one we will be taking Conjure Barrage. And then finally level 12 we get our final feat. And for this we will be taking Savage Attacker. So make a melee weapon attack, so you roll your damage dice twice and use the highest result. Okay, let's go over our gear, and we start with Savarok's Horned Helmet. We gain Dark Vision up to 3 meters or 15 if we already have it. Most importantly, we reduce our critical number down from a 20 to a 19. We cannot be frightened or afflicted with other emotion-altering conditions, and a Constitution saving throws +1. For a cloak, we're going to take the Flesh Melter cloak, so whenever we take melee damage, the attacker will take 1 to 4 acid damage. We're going to take the Black Guard's Grease, so we gain Long Strider. The Helldust gloves, +1 bonus to our spell save attack rolls and our spell save DC, and our weapon attacks will do an additional 1 to 6 fire damage. For armour, we're going with the Armour of Agility, saving throws +2, but the most important aspect is exotic materials. We get to add a full dexterity modifier to our armour class. For rings, we're going with the Strange Conduit ring, so we'll concentrate on a spell. Our weapon attacks will do an additional 1 to 4 psychic damage. The Caustic Band, so we deal a solid 2 acid damage. And the Amulet of Baal, so on a hit, inflict a bleeding on targets that have maximum hit points. For weapons, we're taking the Halberd of Vigilance, a +1 bonus to initiative and advantage on perception ability checks. When you make an attack as a reaction, you make it with advantage, and we gain force damage with this weapon. And then for a bow, we're taking the Deadshot, reduces the number we need of a critical hit from a 19 now down to a 18. Now, I won't shoot this in combat, but it will work, but what we need to get good old Scratch to stay still for 30 seconds. Okay, now that Scratch is still, we're going to do Venomous Barb, so you can apply this to a creature, so we'll walk up to him. And also if you do this in combat, they now can deal 1 to 4 poison damage on their attacks. Really helpful spell to have. And before you leave camp, the next thing you are going to want to do is, as I said during the level by level guide, is make sure you drink a strength potion. So that's what we're going to do. So that is the build. Let's go find some combat and check it out. Okay, we're in the combat, so let's go this way, and we're going to get our Primeval Guardian form going. And there you go, you'll see the roots that just took place on the ground. And we've increased our size, but obviously our movement has decreased significantly. But that is a-okay, because it still means we can pump out some attacks. And again, we can do our Piercing Thorns. If you remember from the combat tutorial, every round we can choose to do an additional 1 to 6 damage. And you see we can hit for some pretty significant damage. And we do massive crits. So this ranger is very much a tanky sort of defender as opposed to normal ranger types. You'll see the enemy is very, very slow to get to us. And we still get the acid damage on a melee attacker when they hit us. You'll see the bleed inflicted on the enemy there, and again, really slow moving. Now what we're going to do is we're going to use our Hunter Mark, and we're going to place this on the Barbarian in front of us, just like that. And that means we're going to do a little bit of extra damage now on every hit, as long as we maintain our concentration. And it's very simple, we are just going to pump out as much damage as we can. And there you go, you'll see we landed another big hit, and we did some really significant damage, taking out the Barbarian in 2 hits. Now, the only downside is we are very slow, but we do have the extended reach. But if I show you here, that is the extent of our movement. So you can find yourself in a situation where you cannot move, which is a small disaster. The bonus to that though is you can still do your ranged attacks. And your Piercing Thorns will spread onto that too. And you'll see you can inflict as much bleed as possible onto enemies and still hit those crits. Now we've just seen the enemy was moving very slow there, so the reach from this, the rooted vines, will travel up buildings. Okay, and we're going to aim to hunt down the enemy here that we have put our thing on. You'll see we still can't reach, so your movement is extremely limited, which is why having a bow is so key for this. And you'll see we are just landing crits everywhere. Just like that. Which means we can reapply our Hunter's Mark again, and we'll put it down on good old Skeeve here. Just like that. And again, really simply, we are just going to shoot the enemies and try and take as many out as possible. Huge damage. Did we take that one out? Yes, we have. And then we're going to hunt down the enemy here in front of us as long as we've got the reach. Which is unlikely, sadly. So you do see here, it is very key where you place your Guardian. But again, you can pump these crits out. We are just nailing them. with the Hunter's Mark as well, and your damage will go through the roof. And of course, when the enemies are too far away, we can end our Guardian form as a bonus action, come back into normal form, and we can move around as and when needed, and then land the attacks that we require, just like this. And again, land another big crit. And that is the Primeval Guardian. Coupled with strength potions, this is an incredibly strong and powerful sort of tank almost for the battlefield. Very different to most other rangers, but so much fun, and it is a real game changer in boss fights. So I really hope you have enjoyed this build. If you have, make sure you check the mod out and let me know in the comments what you've changed about the build, any new items or spells, all that fun stuff. If you're ready, please drop the video a like and subscribe to the channel for more. I've got more guides to Baldur's Gate, Expedition Day 3, Oblivion, Elden Ring, Path of Exile, Dragon Age, all the amazing RPGs you could ever need. And hopefully, I'll see you in the next one. Bye guys.